If there was supposed to be electricity in the air for the first Lakers-Mavericks matchup of the season, the spark never quite ignited. There were no tense confrontations with the Dallas bench, no fiery exchanges, no dramatic stare-downs between the franchise's former cornerstone and the man who replaced him. Whatever Luka Doncic carried into Crypto.com arena stayed mostly concealed, tucked away beneath his usual competitive demeanor. There wasn't even an easy antagonist in the building. The man many fans would have expected to see, former Dallas executive Nico Harrison, but wasn't present, having been fired weeks earlier. His absence removed any narrative fuel, leaving the night stripped of the off-court drama that often elevates games like this. What unfolded instead was a 129-119 Lakers victory that felt controlled, natural, almost routine. The kind of win that signals both how settled Doncic is in Los Angeles and how steadily the Lakers have been performing through the early stretch of the season. Doncic, the superstar Los Angeles, landed in what many still consider one of the most improbable trades in recent memory, showcased his full offensive arsenal once again. Ball fakes, power drives, sudden bursts of speed followed by abrupt halts. Every signature move was on display. He carved through Dallas's defense with methodical precision, stacking up 35 points with the casual ease of someone who treats elite production as an everyday responsibility. "I'd say it's easier now," Doncic admitted when asked about playing against the Mavericks. "But for me, games against Dallas will always mean something. I've still got lifelong friends there. It's always special. It always will be. Just not in the way people expected." On the other side of the storyline, Austin Reaves, the player Dallas never managed to secure in that same trade, delivered yet another performance that strengthens his case as one of the league's fastest rising stars. With his quick first step, improved shot selection, and remarkable control mid-air, Reaves detonated for 38 points, leading all scorers and emerging as the most unstoppable force on the floor. A year ago, a game like this would have been shocking. Today, it feels like a natural progression toward a potential all-star appearance. How long ago did I tell y'all AR can effing play ball? LeBron James, now 40 years old, said afterward, laughing. "I've been saying it since he was a rookie. This isn't new. AR is great." Doncic's reunion narrative, and what would have been a storyline involving Anthony Davis if he were still a Laker, faded instantly. Reaves stole the spotlight with his relentless scoring and his increasingly undeniable presence. "I think he's been one of the best players in this league, honestly," Doncic said. "The way he scores, the way he creates, it's impressive. I'm just glad he's on my team, and that's the last compliment he gets from me." Meanwhile, the future Hall of Famer, who has been doing this longer than almost anyone, continued to approach each game with a veteran's willingness to adapt. LeBron scored just 2 points in the first half, playing patiently, then chipped his way into double figures to extend one of the most unbreakable records in sports. 1,296 straight games with at least 10 points. 4 games this season, 4 different versions of LeBron depending on what the Lakers needed. A 3-point specialist, a transition driver, a rebounder, a defensive communicator. The result? 4 Lakers wins. Even the moments when Los Angeles fell behind in the fourth quarter barely registered. Their poise under pressure has become such a consistent trait that the comeback felt inevitable, almost expected. After their 14th win, the Lakers now own the 3rd best winning percentage in the entire NBA, a reflection of a team that built a standard early and has refused to drift from it. "Our discipline has been great all season," head coach JJ Redick explained post-game. "Execution, communication, effort. All of it. The only times we've slipped were the 2 games where our effort wasn't at the level we expect. But overall, the habits we've built have been strong." Redick then highlighted something that has quietly transformed the Lakers' offense. "The organization and understanding of what we're trying to do on offense is miles ahead of where it was last year. Guys know the plan. They know the purpose. That makes a huge difference." And even with a home quarterfinal secured in the NBA Cup, even with the team extending its winning streak to 6, even with them re-winning the Doncic trade, everything about Friday night felt normal. Normal for a team that's finally playing like itself. Reaves put it simply, "We've done a really good job solving problems during games." Reaves said, "When teams go on runs, we don't splinter. We lock in. That's what good teams do." The coaching staff gives us the answers, and we just have to execute and play hard. Instead of the bitterness or fire of a rivalry game, Friday looked like a superior team calmly handling its business. Redick summarized it with blunt clarity. To me, it was a simple game. Their guys who don't usually hit threes hit some. We turned the ball over too much early. In the second half, we stopped turning it over. They kept making shots late, but we got enough stops. We've heard versions of that breakdown before, and if the Lakers keep playing with this level of control, discipline, and balance, we'll likely hear many more. A night that was supposed to feel charged ended up feeling predictable. But only because the Lakers made it that way. They didn't just win, they looked like a team that expects to win, and that might be the most important development of all. The 14-4 Los Angeles Lakers are preparing for a high-pressure showdown as they get ready to face the 13-5 San Antonio Spurs on Wednesday, December 10th in the NBA Cup quarterfinals. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. at Crypto.com Arena, giving Los Angeles the advantage of playing this elimination game in front of its home crowd. The Lakers have been strong on their home floor all season, feeding off the energy inside the building, and in a knockout setting, that atmosphere becomes even more valuable. The Lakers secured their spot in the next round after a hard-earned 129-119 victory over the Dallas Mavericks in their final group stage matchup. It was a game that demanded adjustments and maturity. Dallas came out aggressive, and Los Angeles spent the first half trying to regain control before flipping the momentum in the final two quarters. Luka Doncic delivered another elite performance with 35 points, 11 assists, and 5 rebounds. His ability to dictate the pace kept the Mavericks in striking distance, but Austin Reaves rose to the moment, leading the Lakers with a huge 38-point night, attacking off the dribble, hitting contested shots, and providing the offensive spark the team needed. Los Angeles elevated its intensity in the second half, tightening its defense, taking better care of the ball, and executing in the half court. The turnaround reflected the discipline and composure the team has built under head coach JJ Redick. The win improved the Lakers to 14-4 on the season and extended their winning streak to 6 straight games. It's the kind of stretch that suggests a team finding its identity early, with chemistry building and roles becoming clearer. Head coach JJ Redick spoke about the team's undefeated group stage run and how it sets the tone for the next stretch of games. Really pleased that we were able to go undefeated in our group, Redick told Kobe Price of the Orange County Register. More importantly, we've got a back-to-back coming up and a really hard road trip. His message remained focused on what lies ahead. We've got to take care of business in the next 2 games, and then we've got to go be great on the road like we've been for most of the year outside of 2 games. And the cup is, in some ways, a distant memory for the next 12 days or whatever it is. Redick's approach has been consistent. Enjoy the success, but don't lose sight of the larger goals. The Lakers' impressive record won't mean much unless they continue to perform with the same intensity. While still considered a relatively new addition to the NBA calendar, the NBA Cup is quickly gaining traction as a meaningful competition. It offers teams a chance to compete with playoff-like urgency in the middle of the season, and the financial incentive continues to be a major motivator across the league. Each player earns $53,000 for advancing, a substantial bonus, especially for younger players and coaching staff. Redick acknowledged the real motivation behind that number. "I really enjoyed it as a broadcaster, covering it, talking about it," he said before the game against Dallas. Didn't get an opportunity to compete for the cup last year, so we're excited. I mean, $53,000 is a lot of money. It just is. So I'm sure there's some extra motivation. Coaches do get to split a share. I think the head coach might get a full share, so it's motivation for sure. His honesty highlights what the tournament truly represents: competition, opportunity, recognition, and an added incentive during the grind of the regular season. Now, attention turns fully to the San Antonio Spurs, a young team headlined by the extraordinary talent of Victor Wembanyama. His size, mobility, and instinct make him a defensive challenge for any opponent. The Lakers' front court will need discipline and physicality to navigate his presence in the paint. For Los Angeles, the formula remains clear. Move the ball, play with pace, rely on the depth that has emerged throughout the season, and lean on the leadership of veterans like LeBron James, who continues competing at a high level at 40 years old. Wednesday's matchup isn't just another game. It's a test of composure, momentum, and the team's ability to elevate its play when everything becomes magnified. The Lakers have shown flashes of being one of the league's most disciplined and resilient teams. And now, with the NBA Cup quarterfinals on their home floor, they'll have the chance to prove just how far their midseason surge can take them. The Los Angeles Lakers may be closing in on one of the most stunning midseason swings in recent NBA history, an opportunistic move that could completely blindside the Dallas Mavericks and shift the balance of power in the Western Conference once again. Nico Harrison's firing didn't just destabilize the Mavericks front office, it created a moment of vulnerability. And the Lakers, more than almost any team in the league, are positioned to take full advantage of that instability under head coach JJ Redick, who has quickly established a modern, disciplined structure around 40-year-old LeBron James and MVP caliber Luka Doncic. This is the kind of window championship-minded organizations wait for: a rival in free fall, a superstar unhappy or misused, and a front office desperate enough to consider dramatic solutions. Right now, that describes the Dallas Mavericks perfectly. Dallas believed it was making a brave, long-term pivot when it sent Luka Doncic to Los Angeles in exchange for Anthony Davis. The Mavericks embraced a full identity shift, a bet that a defense-first foundation built around Davis would create a more stable future. Concerns about Doncic's conditioning, defensive limitations, and long-term trajectory led the Mavericks to believe Davis was the more reliable franchise cornerstone. But just months later, that gamble has backfired spectacularly. Luka Doncic has become a dominant force in Los Angeles, thriving in a system designed to maximize his playmaking and scoring. Under JJ Redick's structure, the Lakers are rising quickly and look increasingly capable of competing deep into the postseason. Meanwhile, Davis, no longer a Laker and now fully a Dallas Maverick, has struggled with injuries and inconsistency. The Mavericks have plummeted down the standing. Tension has built internally, and the fan base has lost confidence in the direction of the team. The franchise is now fighting to protect what remains of its credibility. Nico Harrison's firing wasn't about a single mistake, it was the culmination of growing distrust, both inside and outside the building. Front office decisions weren't aligning with on-court performance, the roster lacked balance, and the bold Luka for Davis gamble had aged poorly. Now the Mavericks must convince a frustrated fan base that they still have a long-term plan. This is where desperation takes over, where logic bends under the weight of pressure, where front offices suddenly consider moves they never would have in stable times. Moves meant to shock, moves meant to reset direction, moves meant to send a message. In this atmosphere, Anthony Davis becomes a trade chip, not a pillar. Not because he isn't skilled, he absolutely is, but because the franchise needs a clean slate, a new narrative, and a way to regain trust. The idea of Dallas trading Davis back to Los Angeles months after acquiring him would have sounded absurd at the time of the Luka deal, but circumstances have changed dramatically. Between injuries, roster imbalances, and the collapse of Dallas's defensive identity, Davis no longer fits the long-term vision. The Mavericks expected Davis to stabilize the franchise. Instead, the organization feels stuck, directionless, and exposed. And when a team reaches this level of instability, even the most dramatic moves become options. This is exactly the environment where the Lakers thrive. The Lakers understand Anthony Davis better than anyone, his strengths, his weaknesses, his usage patterns, and his injury tendencies. Even though Davis no longer plays for the Lakers, the organization still has unique insight into how to maximize him, manage him, and structure a roster around him. While Davis has struggled to find consistent footing in Dallas, the Lakers have built a polished, modern system around Luka Doncic and LeBron James under JJ Redick. The franchise is equipped with flexible contracts, strong trade assets, a clear identity, and championship-level infrastructure. They also understand the value of timing, and right now, the timing has never been better. Ayton's inconsistency and early injury concerns have exposed gaps in the front court rotation. Adding Davis would instantly stabilize the group, just as he did during the Lakers' 2020 title run, where he played alongside Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee. This season, Jackson Hayes fits perfectly as the energy big. Ayton provides size and skill. A returning Anthony Davis would complete the trio and recreate one of the most successful frontcourt structures of the decade. And with Luka Doncic orchestrating the offense, the system becomes nearly impossible to guard. The three-team framework gaining traction is simple. Lakers receive Anthony Davis. The Mavericks receive Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, Rui Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt, a 2031 first-round pick, and 3-pick swaps. The Brooklyn Nets receive Dalton Knecht and a 2032 Lakers second-round pick. For Dallas, this offers salary relief, multiple rotation pieces, and long-term draft control. For Brooklyn, it adds a promising young scorer. For the Lakers, it's a chance to reunite with a player they know intimately, even though he is no longer part of their roster, while strengthening their championship core around Luka Doncic and LeBron James. Under normal conditions, the Mavericks would reject this immediately. Trading Davis back to the Lakers would look like admitting defeat, but these are not normal conditions. The organization needs a narrative reset, a way to rebuild trust with fans, a way to shift expectations and escape the shadow of the failed Luka trade. A multiplayer, multi-pick return gives Dallas flexibility, relief, and a storyline it can sell. We moved fast, we recognized the issues, we're correcting the course. In an unstable environment, optics matter. And right now, optics might be the Mavericks' biggest concern. For the Lakers, the upside is enormous. This is a chance to strengthen the front court, add defensive versatility, recapture the style of play that made them champions, and weaken a direct Western rival. Teams rarely get a chance to benefit twice from the same trade tree, but Los Angeles might. This could elevate the Lakers into the Western elite again, giving Doncic and LeBron the supporting cast needed to make a legitimate run. Meanwhile, Dallas risks spiraling further downward. If these discussions progress, this could become one of the most dramatic midseason reversals in recent NBA history. For Dallas, it's about survival. For the Lakers, it's about capitalizing on instability and reinforcing a championship window built around a superstar they should never have had access to in the first place. And one thing is undeniable, teams across the league are monitoring Anthony Davis closely. Interest is rising, and sooner or later, he will be moved. The real question is whether the Lakers will strike first and reshape the Western Conference once again.